Hey, welcome back. Today, we are diving into a word that most of us were taught to fear, debt, right? We're told to avoid it, run from it, never get into it. But what if I told you that for the wealthiest people on the planet, debt isn't a trap at all? It's actually their secret weapon, which brings up a really important question. I mean, think about it for a second. It's a simple question, but it kind of turns everything we've been told on its head. If taking out a loan is supposed to be this fast track to financial disaster, why are the biggest names and companies in the world constantly taking on huge amounts of debt? The truth is, banks are lining up to lend to the rich. Why is that? Just look at these names. These aren't people taking out loans because they're in trouble. No way. For them, debt isn't some sign of weakness. It's a core part of their strategy. It's a weapon. They don't run away from loans. They actively seek them out to grow their empires and multiply their wealth. And this right here shows a huge difference in thinking. This slide just lays it all out perfectly, doesn't it? On one side, you've got the mindset most of us grew up with. A loan is this heavy burden, it's a trap, it's nothing but stress. But then you look at the other side. The rich see the exact same thing as a strategic tool, a way to get leverage. The difference isn't the loan itself. It's all about the financial education you have. And this is the absolute key. We're taught to be scared of debt because, let's be honest, for a lot of people, a financial emergency is just one missed paycheck away. If you've only got one income stream and zero safety net, yeah, a loan is incredibly dangerous. But for the wealthy, who have multiple sources of income, huge emergency funds, and a crystal clear plan, a loan is just fuel for the fire. The problem was never the tool itself, but the fact that nobody taught us how to use it right. So how do we start using this tool the right way? Well, it all starts with understanding the single most important idea in this entire explainer, knowing the difference between good debt and bad debt. I'm telling you, getting this right is the foundation for everything else. All right, let's start with the one most people are familiar with, bad debt. Simply put, bad debt is when you borrow money for consumption. You use it to buy stuff that goes down in value and definitely doesn't make you any money. This kind of debt just sucks money out of your pocket month after month, making you poorer over time. And you know exactly what this looks like, right? Putting a shopping spree on a credit card, taking a personal loan for a big vacation, buying the newest phone on EMI, or getting a car that's way more than you can really afford. Sure, these things feel good in the moment, but they create a long-term financial drain. They are liabilities pretending to be lifestyle upgrades. Okay, now let's flip the script. Good debt is the total opposite. It's when you take out a loan to buy something that puts money back into your pocket. It's an investment. The whole point of good debt is to buy an asset that's either going to grow in value, produce a monthly income, or ideally both. This is the engine that builds wealth. So what does this look like in the real world? Well, it could be a loan to expand a business that's already profitable, or a mortgage for a property that you're going to rent out. It could even be an education loan for a skill that's in super high demand and will seriously boost your salary. See the pattern? In every single case, the loan is designed to make you more money than it costs. And the math? Well, the math doesn't lie. Look at this. On the left, you've got that personal loan. Every single month, nearly 13,000 rupees is just gone. Poof. Now look at the right, the property loan. Even after you pay that huge 90,000 rupee EMI, the rent you collect leaves you with an extra 40,000 rupees in your pocket every month. Plus, you now own an asset that's growing in value. One loan makes you poorer, the other makes you richer. Okay, so we've got the difference between good and bad debt. But how do billionaires use this to build those massive fortunes? The secret word here is leverage. And this, my friends, is where the real magic happens. Leverage is basically the art of using other people's money, in this case, the bank's money, to amplify your own power. So instead of being stuck with only what's in your bank account, you can control assets and businesses that are many times bigger. It's how you scale your ideas way beyond what your own cash would allow. Let's just walk through a quick example. Imagine you have 10 crore of your own money to start a business. I mean, that's a lot of money, and you could build a really solid business with it. But your potential is capped by that 10 crore. But what if you use that 10 crore as a down payment and get a loan for another 90 crore? All of a sudden, you're not running a 10 crore business anymore. You're running a 100 crore business. Your scale, your potential impact, everything just got multiplied by 10. And just look at the results on this chart. Let's say you have a 10% profit margin. With your own money, that 10 crore business makes you 1 crore in profit. Not bad. But the 100 crore business, that makes you 10 crore in profit. You're putting in the same hard work, the same brain power, but because you use leverage, your reward is 10 times bigger. This is how empires are built. But believe it or not, it gets even smarter than that. The wealthy don't just use debt for scale, they use it to make the entire financial system work for them, especially when it comes to two things that everyone else is terrified of: taxes and inflation. Let's break this down. First, the tax advantage. That interest you pay on a business or a property loan, that's a business expense. It legally reduces your taxable profit, which means you pay less in taxes to the government. Simple as that. Then there's inflation. You know how inflation eats away at your savings? Well, when you're a borrower, it actually helps you. You're paying back your loan with money that's worth less and less over time, while the asset you bought with that money is probably becoming more valuable. You literally win on both ends. Okay, I get it. This all sounds amazing for billionaires, but how can you, an ordinary person, start applying these ideas safely? Because you can't just jump into the deep end. You need a clear, disciplined strategy. Here's your 5-step game plan. First, you've got to build a killer credit score. That makes you look good to lenders. Second, and this is non-negotiable, you need a big emergency fund. That's your safety net. Third, focus on increasing your income. Only then do you even think about step 4, starting small with a smart, income-generating loan. And finally, step 5, you take the profit from that and reinvest it to grow. Remember, this is a marathon, not a sprint. And before you ever sign for a loan, you have to ask yourself this one simple question: will this loan pay me back, or will I be the one paying it back? If it's for an asset that's going to make you money and pay for itself, it's a tool. If you're the only one working to pay it off every month, it's a trap. That one question will save you from so many mistakes. You see, when it all boils down to it, what we've been talking about this whole time, it isn't really about numbers and banks. It's about a fundamental shift in how you look at the world of money. It's about moving from a mindset of fear to a mindset of strategy. And this quote right here, this says it all. One person takes a loan to buy a thing, a liability. The other person uses that exact same financial tool to buy a system that makes money. The loan itself doesn't make you rich or poor. It's how you use it that determines everything. If you run from debt, you might just be running from your biggest opportunity. But if you understand it, you can turn money into your employee. And that is where you find real financial freedom.